Hi everyone, Andrew from Activechat here, and this is the first of our Bot Academy live sessions. Hopefully we'll have these sessions on a weekly basis, maybe on Tuesdays, maybe on Thursdays. While we are waiting for the rest of the crowd to join us, maybe someone is late and so on, please note the polls that I will be posting during this session. I would love to get your answers to some of the questions. And while we are waiting for the rest of the crowd, please post in the chat your current location, where are you from, and what you do with chatbots, actually, what's your background. Currently, I can see that almost half of the attendees do not have any previous background with bot platforms, and I would love to know how are you supposed to use this tool in your business and maybe for your customers. Great. Lots of countries here: United States, England, India, Bulgaria, Texas, Arizona. Okay, perfect. I'll be sending a couple of more polls to this webinar, and please don't forget to answer it. I really want to know what you think about your current bot experience. Okay, what we'll do today, we'll have a theory part and a practical part. In theory, I'll be speaking about basic concepts behind Activechat and how we are supposed to help you build chatbots. And then we'll jump on a hands-on experience with the platform, approximately for maybe 25 to 30 minutes. And theory will last for half an hour also. And then we'll have some time for your questions, and I'll try to answer as many as possible. But if you don't find answer to your specific question, feel free to reach out on Facebook community, on Facebook group, or maybe in directly to our email ask@activechat.ai. Okay, so 47% currently of people who are present are just starting with chatbots. Great, we'll try to provide you with a great start. And one more question for you, please. Hold on for a moment. I'll find how to do this. Yeah, one more question for you. Do you build the bots for yourself or for your customers? I know that most of you are agencies, so I expect most of you to be building bots for customers. Anyway, we'll try to help you with this also. Okay, perfect. Most of you, 82%, are building bots for customers, for working as agency. Okay, let's start with our today's program. First of all, my apologies for my pronunciation. I caught a cold recently, so my apologies if you don't understand what I'm telling. I'll try to speak slowly, and please forgive me for this. Why did we decide to start Activechat? There are dozens of other bot building platforms, and I have personally used like maybe 10 or 20 of different platforms. There are Chatfuel, ManyChat, Mobile Monkey, CurioBot, Octane.ai, Converse.ai, and so on, FlowXO, you name it. Why did we decide to build yet another platform? The reason for this is quite simple. Bots are great technology, and actually bots constantly fail to deliver great business values. 2 years ago, it was all hype about chatbots, and 1 year ago, it was all disappointment about chatbots. And the reason is quite simple. Most bots are either too simple to provide real value to end users, to businesses, to customers, or too complex, and thus they fail too often. Currently, it looks like we are on this productivity plateau in Gartner cycle for chatbots, and it looks like companies and businesses are starting to use chatbots to provide real value to end users. And we'll try to help you with this. Simple bots that you can build easily with Chatfuel, with ManyChat, with other platforms are more like toys. They provide simple answers to simple questions. They are great for lead generation. They are great for answering frequently asked questions and so on. But actually, they do not perform this main function. They do not stand as a front line of your customer support. And when you start building complex bots, it quickly becomes unmanageable. Too many conversations, too many things to do in the bot, too many integrations, too many variables, and so on. So it's extremely hard to manage. Then comes natural language understanding. And here I would like to ask you one more question. Hold on for a moment. I'll reset the poll that we had before, and I'll ask you another. Do you think that chatbots require natural language understanding? I would appreciate your opinion on this. There are three options. Click one of it. Simple keywords and buttons are okay, and some combination of simple keywords and buttons with natural language, or maybe you would like to build bots that are completely built on natural language understanding. While you are answering this, I'll continue with the reasons behind Activechat. Then when you start building bots that are connected to your actual business or to businesses of your customers, business integrations are pain in the neck. It's way too complex. It requires using JSON APIs. It requires hiring expensive developers, outsourcing this, or maybe doing this in-house for you. And generally, it's quite complex. Then most of chatbot platforms that you can be using, like MobileMonkey, CurioBot, ManyChat, Chatfuel, are mostly focused on Facebook Messenger. And Facebook Messenger is a huge audience, absolutely. It's like 1.5 billion of users worldwide now. But there are other channels like WhatsApp, like Telegram, Viber, SMS, voice channels, and so on and so forth. And when you try to integrate this, you again face the same hardships. It's difficult to integrate, and it's difficult to build truly multi-channel bots. And then most of chatbot builders are focused on technical issues for the chatbots. May I ask you, have you seen this before? It's like a conversation flow for a chatbot that has lots of different boxes, lots of different chatbot messages. Each of these messages is connected to multiple other messages, and so on and so forth. Please tell me, did you encounter this in your practice before while building a conversation flow? Yeah, I see. I have been there. I know this, and actually, this is the reason why we decided to build Activechat. We wanted to simplify the conversational design process for enterprise and for businesses. I would encourage you to stop building chatbots. You don't have to build bots, you have to build conversations. And you have to build conversations that bring some actual value to your customers and to end users of your chatbots. And today we'll try to look into this, how we achieve this with Activechat. First, 4 basic steps in building awesome chatbots. And they can be split into 2 parts, user experience and user interface. User experience parts are, first, you should design sample conversations and then break it down into bot skills. We'll dive deeper into this in a couple of moments. What I mean by designing sample conversations, it's quite easy. Our friends from Conversational Academy in the United States do this quite simple. They take 2 persons and lock these persons in a room, and one person acts for a customer and another works for a chatbot. And they start talking to each other, building some conversations, fine-tuning these conversations. The reason for this is quite simple. You have, this is conversational marketing, this is conversational sales, this is conversational support. And you have to start with the actual conversations that your bot will have with your customers. No matter if this is natural language or if this is a decision tree-based model, buttons, keywords, and so on, start with building sample conversations. A good spreadsheet or just a plain text file works perfectly for this. Bot says this, bot user answers with that. Bot says that, bot user answers this with this. Something like that. Then when you have these sample conversations that will bring specific value to your end users, you should be breaking it down into bot skills. What is a bot skill? It is something simple, quite simple, and we'll move on to this in a couple of moments. This is some simple conversation that does some specific task for your end user. And we'll have a sample of these bot skills soon. Then, when you have these bot skills, you can jump to user interface part of creating a chatbot. You are building and testing these skills one by one. Start with simple skills. And then you connect these skills with events. And actually, Active Chatbot platform is focused on building exactly this. We split complex chatbots into simple skills, and then we build the skills one by one, and then we connect the skills with something that we call events. And we'll later today, we'll jump on how this actually is achieved within our platform. 5 key components of successful bot. Again, this is just my personal opinion. I'll remind for those who may be late for the beginning, I'm Andrew from Activechat. I'm founder of Activechat platform, and currently we are speaking about why we decided to build Activechat. So, to my opinion, key components of successful bot are, first of all, is bot discovery process. How will your users know that you have a chatbot? How will your customers learn that you have a chatbot and they can use it? Examples are chat widget on a website, Facebook Messenger chat on your Facebook page, maybe Facebook chat widget that we already provide that you can include in your website. Then direct links to bots, some landing pages that start the bot, direct links to Messenger codes that can be scanned by Messenger, and so on and so forth. But before you even start building your bot, please spend a couple of minutes thinking, how will your users know that you have a chatbot? How will they discover the bot? Then comes onboarding sequence. Onboarding sequence is something that happens when your users start communicating to your bot for the very first time. And good practice here is to introduce the bot. And I would advise you to specifically tell your users that they are talking to a bot, not to a real person, not to a human being. And the reason for this is that when people know that they are speaking to a chatbot, they expect less. And they know that there can be glitches, there can be problems, maybe the bot sometimes doesn't understand what they say, and so on and so forth. So it will be much less disappointment if you specifically say that, okay, you are talking to a chatbot. And then you should say what exactly this bot is for, like I can do this, I can do that, and then you should offer some examples of what your users can ask. Like you can ask me what the weather is like in Toronto, or you can ask me how much are the tickets to this event, or you can use a bot menu, and so on. And the third component of successful bot is the control menu. You have nice persistent menus on Facebook Messenger. You can build the same on SMS, you can build the same on Telegram, and on almost every other channel. This is something that your user can use if he or she gets lost in a bot conversation. Then, fourth component is fallback process. What happens if the bot doesn't understand what the user says, or what happens if the user is stuck in your bot conversation? For example, if the user encounters some kind of a dead end in one of your skills. And you should provide some buttons to start from the very beginning, to go to the very beginning of the conversation, or maybe to ask for human support, ask for human escalation, or maybe send in an email, and so on and so forth. Pay attention to this fallback process. Why? Because it will give you a tremendous amount of insights of what is wrong with your conversational design. And then last but not least is skill navigation. I will show you example skills later today, but please make sure that your users can navigate between skills and can easily switch from one skill to another. A simple example can be if you are building a restaurant chatbot, for example, and the user is making a reservation, and you are currently in a skill that makes a reservation for the user. The bot is asking, okay, what date would you like to come to the restaurant? And the user asks, okay, I will come on Friday. What time would you like to come? And the user asks, when do you close? And definitely this is quite another skill, and this skill is like displaying open and closing times for the restaurant. And you should provide some navigation between these skills so that when bot is answering this specific question, when do you close, the user can easily get back to original skill, like making a reservation. Please put some feedback in the chat if what I'm speaking currently resonates with you, and if it is okay, if you understand what I'm speaking about. Please share your opinion in the chat while we are moving on. Yes, I'll be checking the questions in the chat. Yes, I hope that we will have a replay for this event. And I will send a link if everything goes right, but I would encourage you to stay until the end because live conversation, live communication is much better. Again, please have my apologies for my pronunciation. I caught a cold recently and I'm not quite good now, so please have my apologies for this. Okay, moving further. Let's continue with this example of a restaurant chatbot. And here's a simple list of example skills that this chatbot can have. First of all, show restaurant menu. This is a specific skill. Generally speaking, a skill is something, a combination of like maybe 10 or dozen or maybe 20 blocks in Activechat Builder. Later in 10 minutes when we go to the platform and when we see this in action, I will explain you how the skills are organized in Activechat. So example skills for restaurant bot, first of all, show the menu for the restaurant, then accept reservation. Another skill to show directions, how to get to the restaurant. Another skill to show open and closing times for the restaurant. Then maybe a skill to display some photos and maybe videos for the interior. Another skill to get contact info, and so on and so forth. Every chatbot is like a growing child, like a growing baby. You will constantly be improving your chatbots. You will constantly be adding new skills. You will be constantly fixing the skills that are broken and improving general user experience with your chatbots. So start with basic skills that your bot cannot live without. And then when you see more requests from users, when you see more requests from your customers, then you can be adding skills and seamlessly integrating these skills into existing conversation. Yet another example, bot for marketing agency. Again, some simple skills to follow. One skill to tell about the agency, like what is the agency name, what can this agency do, and so on. Then maybe a skill to show agency portfolio. Then specific skills to dive into specific agency skills, like maybe you are good in search engine optimization, maybe you are good in chatbot building, maybe you are good in marketing, and so on. Build a specific skill to explain your user how you do this task or that task. Then another skill to introduce your team. Another skill to show testimonials from your existing customers. Another skill to get the lead data like email, phone number, and prepare a quote for this customer. Another skill to get contact info for the customer, and so on and so forth. And how we achieve this in our platform is we split each conversation into these small skills, and then we use our concept of Lego for chatbots, these small building blocks that are fun to work with, and we combine these blocks into simple skills, and then we combine these skills into actual conversations and into actual chatbots. Please share your opinion if it makes sense in the chat, and we'll jump to the platform to explain how it works. What we mean by skills. Again, skill is a simple part of your conversation that does a specific simple task for your end user, for your chatbot user. Skill starts with event, and events are a glue that combines skills together into a simple conversation. A simple example, I'm speaking with my friend about the weather, and then my mobile phone rings. I have an incoming call. This incoming call is an event, and this event is triggering my skill. If I was a chatbot, it would be triggering a skill to answer that call, or maybe to reject that call until I finish conversation with my friend, and so on. So we have events that can be interrupting the flow of your skills. And again, these events can be used to start one skill from another, and maybe to start one skill from a keyword, from a bot menu, and so on. So we have blocks to catch these events, and we have blocks to send these events. In this picture, you can see that the skill ABC is starting with event start. And later, when we jump to the platform, I will show you how it looks like in the platform. It contains a couple of blocks, block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, and so on. And these blocks are connected with lines. And actually, this is a diagram of how your conversation is built within the chatbot. Again, here you can see something that we call checkboxes. Checkbox is if you have experience with funnels, if you come from marketing, you know that you can build funnels from specific events. For example, when user starts communicating to your website, enters your website, then makes a registration, then makes a purchase, then you have like 3 steps in your funnel. And exactly the same is can be applied to any chatbot. You can have one event when the user starts communicating to a chatbot, then another event when user is sending his or her lead data, and then another event when you get payment for a specific product or service that your chatbot is providing. So we call these checkboxes. And in this illustration, you can see that block 4 is sending an event, XYZ. What happens when this block is sending this event, and this can be achieved in our platform with a send block. I will show you how to use it later. The XYZ event is triggered. And this event is being caught in another skill, in skill XYZ. You can see it starts with catch event for XYZ. And this will start the skill immediately. So we are catching this event, and then we are sending this block 1, block 2, achieving some milestones like checkbox XYZ1, and so on and so forth. So the basic concept behind Activechat is split your chatbot, split your complex conversation into simple skills, and then make the skills communicate to each other with these events. This may be not too obvious, but I will explain you how to use this just in a couple of moments. And then we come to 2 basic skills that each of your chatbots should have. And basically, these skills are pre-built into every bot that you create in Activechat. And these are start and default skill. Start skill is for bot intro and onboarding process. We have been discussing this like maybe 5 minutes ago. Start skill is triggered when your chatbot user starts communicating with your chatbot for the very first time. Usually, it's good practice to put here something like, "Hi, I'm Jane or Jim," or any other name that you give to your chatbot. "I can help you with this and that." For example, "I can help you make reservations in our restaurant," or "I can help you understand how to get the best use of our product," and so forth. And then you are offering some simple menu like buttons or quick replies, and I'll just describe what is the difference between buttons and quick replies soon, to navigate between different skills in this chatbot. And then when your user receives this first communication, you have default skill. And default skill is triggered every time user is sending a message to your chatbot. You can use different approaches here. You can make your bot only button controlled, and then your default skill will do nothing. And it can say, "Okay, I do not understand your human input. Please click one of these buttons to navigate between my skills." Or you can use a switch block to check for specific keywords in the messages that your users are sending. And then you can start specific skills based on these keywords detection. And the most complex approach is using natural language understanding. And I will not be diving deep into natural language in this first session today, but next week maybe we'll have a specific session for natural language understanding chatbots. And I will show you how to integrate natural language engine like Dialogflow or Wit.ai into your simple chatbots to make it easy to understand natural language. So when user is sending any message to your chatbot, default skill is triggered. Actually, default event is triggered, and this event is triggered in default skill. And you can use switch block to branch conversation based on the content of user message. So if it makes sense, please say something in the chat for this event so that I know that you are following me. And we are ready to jump to the actual platform and to see how it is built there. we have like 30 minutes in our program today for this hands-on experience with Activechat. Yeah, great question. Why not just reverse engineer a few of the template bots that we have already been built? And actually, I will try to do this. First of all, I will jump into a simple build a simple bot from the scratch, and then I'll try to jump into some specific template to explain how it is made. Okay, perfect. So I'll jump to the platform now. Please put some zeros or something else to chat to show me that you can see my screen now with Activechat platform in it. And we'll move on. While you're doing this, one more question for you, one more simple poll. Okay, perfect. Thanks for your feedback. I can see that the screen is displaying nicely. One more question. Since we're getting a lot of requests for custom bot development, I would like to answer. Do you need some help from chatbot developers to build bots for you or maybe for your customers? And the reason for this question is that what we are doing now is building this community of certified Activechat developers who can take this task and who can help other users with building actual bots. As said before, we are a small team and we are mostly focused on developing the product. So we will not be able to build bots for you ourselves, but we would be happy to provide this education, to provide some certified developers to help you with this. Okay, perfect. I'll keep this poll open for a couple of minutes and let's see. So when you create a bot from scratch, you have these two basic skills. And skills are these tabs in this top part of the screen in your Visual Builder. First of all, how do you use Visual Builder? I can see that some people are confused with how you navigate and so on. So basically, you can use right-click to drag your canvas. If you have complex conversations, then you can drag blocks with your left mouse click. You can, when you click the block editor opens on the right, and if you right-click on the block, you have this right-click menu. You can add notes, for example, if you want to change something in the bot, or if you would like to provide some explanations to other developers, like test note. And if you close this, you will have this note sign here, and it will open this note for you. Then you can copy these blocks to clipboard and then paste it somewhere else, and you can duplicate blocks, and you can definitely delete these blocks. Yeah, if you click the home button, it recenters your current skill to the first sketch block, basically the sketch block that starts that skill. In case you have a complex skill and you get lost, for example, like this, if your canvas is empty and you don't know where to go, just click home and your skill will be here. And you can use the mouse wheel or these nice buttons to change the zoom level of your canvas. Okay, the building blocks, these Lego blocks that we are talking about, sit here in the left part. I will not be diving into specifics for each block. We have some simple descriptions in the manuals. Again, I know that our manuals suck. We didn't have time to prepare manuals, and we are working on this already. Expect to have more detailed manuals and more explanations how to use each type of the block soon. But currently, you can find descriptions in manual sections on our main website. If you go to Help, it will take you directly there. So let's see how it works. First of all, I will go to Settings, Messengers, and check which Facebook page this bot is connected to. Okay, I can see that it is connected to Chatbot Academy Facebook page. And what happens here in this start block? In the start block, we are sending this hi, first name, I'm Chatbot, great to meet you. And in default block, we are just replying with what's that. I'm clicking Run button to run this bot. And you can see this agent has been built. This is confirmation that your bot is live and waiting for your input. And if I go to this on Messenger, Active Chatbot Academy. If I restart the bot, by the way, you can start almost every skill, not almost, you can start every skill in your chatbot if you type / and then your skill name, the event that is being caught in the skill. So to start the start skill, I'm just typing /start, and the bot replies with my default welcome message. Hi, Andrei, I'm testbot, great to meet you. Where do we get this hi, Andrei? And it was from this variable. We have system variables like first name, last name, source, and so on. And we have complete list of these variables in our manuals. You can use this to customize your bot messages. You can use this to get your current date, time, day of week. You can use system variables to get user first name, last name, country, language, and so on. And you can use random variable to make some random branching in your conversations. Okay, let's dive into another question that we get asked quite often. What is the difference between talk and listen block? And you can see that we have put this into this category. You have text, image, and gallery, and you have listen block. And what is the difference between buttons and quick replies? To add the buttons to your messages, you can use this plus sign, and we have 4 types of buttons. First of all, you can add a button that will trigger another event in the bot. For example, if I add menu button, that will be triggering menu event. Then I'll add another type of a button, this URL link. One issue that we face quite often is that users are adding these URL buttons and don't put actual URLs here. This is a bug for Facebook, and we'll add this to our user experience to check for this. If you put empty URL here, Facebook will not display your message. So please pay attention that you have actual URL here in this button. Go to website will be the name of the button, and the link will be Activechat.ai. And then you can have another button that will contain a phone number. This is useful if you are using your chatbot on Messenger. It will initiate a phone call to your phone number immediately from mobile devices. If I put something like call us here, and I put our business phone number here, this button will trigger a phone call on mobile devices. I'm clicking run, and then I'm restarting this bot in the Messenger. Okay, you can see that we have these 3 buttons added. Menu, go to website, and call us. Call us will make a phone call. Go to website will open the link that we have put there. And menu will trigger event in the bot. What happens with this event? We are sending this event, and we can catch this event with a catch block. So what I will do now, I will build another skill that will be called menu. When I create this new skill, you can see that a catch block is added immediately with this menu event. So this skill will be triggered when this event menu is triggered in the bot. Okay, and I will add here a simple menu. Please use buttons below to navigate. And I can add a couple of other buttons here. For example, portfolio, it will trigger portfolio event, and call us, for example. And it will trigger call event. If I run this, and if I go back to the bot and restart the skill, if I go to menu, menu event is triggered, and this another skill, you can see this skill menu was triggered with this yet another message. You can, instead of events, if you have simple navigation in your skills, you can use another type of a button that will trigger a specific flow in the bot immediately. For example, flow 1, and you can connect another text block to this button. And these text blocks will be triggered when the user is clicking this button. So it's completely up to you. You can use either this events button to trigger specific skills, or you can use these small buttons to trigger flows inside your current skill. It's completely up to your conversational design. We tried to make the platform, we tried to make Activechat.ai as flexible as possible, and it's almost limitless in what you can do with the platform. So flow 1. Okay, let's move on to listen block, and I will try to explain what is the difference between buttons and quick replies. Please post in the chat for this event, in live chat. Please post if you know what's the difference between buttons and quick replies, or if you don't know. It will help me to understand your current level of knowledge about chatbots. And I will be building this skill meanwhile. Okay, this is flow 1. We'll ask user a questions. How old are you? Okay, not fully, don't know. Okay, so I'll spend like 5 minutes explaining this. We're asking user this simple question, and then when we ask user a question, how old are you, we expect the user to answer. What will happen if we leave the bot like this, if we do not connect any blocks here? Let's run the bot and see. I'm running the bot. I'm going back to it on Messenger. I'll trigger immediately this menu skill. And I'll click flow 1. The bot is asking me, how old are you? Okay, I will tell the bot something like, okay, 99. What happens here? The bot says me, what's that? What's the reason for this? We don't not have anything connected here, but we have this default block. Remember, I told you that when user is sending any message to the bot, this default block is triggered. So if you do not have listen block, this default block will be triggered, but you can override this. You can, if you are asking a specific question, you can use listen block to get a response from the user to that question. So I'm connecting listen block, and when you connect listen block, first of all, you can say where to save the user input. Usually we put user input to last user input system variable, but you can change this. For example, if we are asking how old are you, we can put this to user age variable. And here come these quick replies. We have a couple of different quick replies, but the one that we will use here is this text quick replies. I will add different quick replies here. For example, less than 25, 25 to 45, 45, and more. So this is like we are providing user with some pre-built answers to the question that we are asking. It's like some hints what the user can answer to this question. If I build the bot now, let's see how it works. We'll add another text block here after this listen block, and we'll just confirm the input that user sent. The bot will say, okay, your, and then we'll put this variable, user age. Perfect. I will run the bot again. Go into Messenger, start on this menu skill. Then triggering the flow button. And the bot is asking, how old are you? Okay, and you can see these quick replies. Do you see the difference between buttons that we have in messages and quick replies? Quick replies are something that, like a pre-typed replies that Facebook is providing that your user can click, and then it will be immediately sent to your listen block. So I will click 25 to 45, and then next block is triggered. Okay, you are 25 to 45, perfect. You can see how it's made. Okay, your user age, and remember that we have been using user age here, save to user age in listen block. to provide this. What happens if user doesn't select any of these quick replies and if the user is typing something? Again, this user input will be saved to the same variable. If I restart the skill, great question from Mike Rojo. What if the users press all buttons many times? They cannot press multiple quick replies. When one quick reply is being pressed by user, Facebook removes quick replies from the conversation and it cannot be clicked anymore. Okay, how old are you? We have these 3 quick replies, but I will tell you, I will put here again 99. I click enter, and the bot says, okay, you are 99, perfect. Why is this? This is because listen block works like this. When the user is sending any message, it is recorded to the same variable, to user age. And if the user is clicking any of these buttons, again, it is recorded to the same variable. Why do we need these yellow lines here? We can add another text block, and we can immediately branch the conversation based on what the user is replying to our listen block. For example, too young here, we'll add another text block here with nice age. And for 45 and more, we'll add another reply like, you're looking great. Yep. And then what will happen in this configuration? If user clicks any of these quick replies, we'll go directly to this text block. And we can continue the conversation from this text block. But if the user is typing something that is different from these quick replies, this default exit will be triggered and we'll have this message. If it makes any sense, if you like it, please let me know in the chat so that I can understand that you are following me. How can we make sure we get the type of answer we need? Another great question, and we have validation for this. It is not yet live in the platform. We'll deploy this tomorrow. You will have blocks to validate user input, for example, to check if the user input was email, if it was a phone number, if it was a number, and so on. And if it is not, then you can send user to another skill, like asking him, please provide your actual email address. And I will show you how to do this in our next, in a short video when we deploy this tomorrow or in 2 days. Okay, so the difference between buttons and quick replies, I think it is clear for now. What we do next, for example, if you want to continue the same conversation, you add another text block here. Okay, let's move on. And you can connect all these blocks together here so that the conversation is continued no matter what the reply was from the user. Okay. Now, one more important thing about quick replies. Here we have been describing only one type of quick replies and text quick reply, but you have these 3 types more. You can have a user's phone number, user's email address, and user's location. How it works? Let me show you. I will be removing these quick replies for now, and I will remove these. And I will ask the user for your phone number. I will immediately add a quick reply here in this listen block with this phone button. Actually, what you put on this button, this share phone, doesn't matter for Facebook. We have added this for other channels like Telegram and Viber, where a phone button can have specific text on it. For Facebook, it will be just a phone number that the user has in his or her Facebook account. And we'll save this not to user age, but to user phone. I'm changing the variable here. And I'll change the text. Calling user phone. And also you can use these quick replies for other features like getting user's email and getting user's location. And we'll jump to this in other videos soon. Okay. How do you build your skills? Again, if you let me get back to creating your chatbot process, let me remind you. First, you design sample conversations, and then you break it down into bot skills, and then you build and test skills one by one and connect these skills with events. So how you do this in the platform? When you have some specific skill, you just click this plus sign, you give the skill a name, for example, portfolio, and you start building the skill from these Lego blocks. When you're done with this, you can add the skill to your Facebook menu, to your navigation menu, and so on and so forth. What happens when user uses different phone numbers from one day to another? Okay, user can have only one phone number on Facebook, but if he is not clicking your quick reply, but instead typing in the number from the keyboard, then this number will be recorded to this bot variable, and you can work with this number definitely. One more thing that I would like to show you how to make, I think that makes sense for many of you, is this persistent menu feature on Facebook. If you go to settings persistent menu, you can see that currently it is empty. And if you go to this bot on Messenger, there is no menu here. But you can add items to this persistent menu. Let's check which skills we have in the bot. We have this portfolio skill. Okay, let's add some text block so that we know when the skill is triggered. Portfolio comes here. And then we have this menu skill with our menu buttons. I go to settings persistent menu, and I will add item here, add new item. Button title will be portfolio. The type will be event, and it will trigger portfolio event. Actually triggering portfolio skill in the chatbot. And then I will add another item for menu. Again, it will be event. It will trigger menu event. And then I will add one more item for a website link. Built by Activechat, and it will be URL Activechat.ai. Now, to deploy this menu to Facebook, I have to go to my bot and click run again. And in a couple of moments, it should appear in my chatbot. And one more thing that I would like to note before we jump to your questions and answers today is a good practice for your conversational design. When you have multiple skills, first of all, let's go to some of our template bots. For example, for this restaurant template. Where is this? Here, a restaurant chatbot. Let me see how it works on Messenger. I'm building this chatbot. I'm going to Activechat restaurant on Messenger. It's connected to another page. New DM pizza, I think. Yeah, exactly. And I will start it from the beginning. Hey, Andrei, welcome to Activechat Restaurant. My name is Jane. I'll be happy to help you with our menu and so on and so forth. You can see how it is made in the template. We have this data to reset total orders to 0 for new users. We'll jump to this in the next sessions, how to use the data blocks in the chatbots. And we have these text blocks. Hey, first name, welcome to restaurant. My name is Jane. Choose one of the options, so click the menu icon and listen block with some quick replies. And these quick replies are leading to different skills, to menu skill, to reservation skill, to directions, and to call skill. Okay, please pay attention to this catch block, persistent here. Why do we need it and how does it work? If we go, for example, to menu selects, let's see how it works on Messenger. I go to menu. You can see that the bot is choosing, is displaying this gallery of different menu categories. If we go to menu skill, you can see this delicious meals are waiting to be ordered, and then gallery with these different options. And then we have this send block. And this send block is sending persistent event. Why do we need this? We need this to provide immediate navigation to your chatbot user, not to make him lost, and to provide easy way of navigation between different skills. When this persistent event is triggered by this send block, what happens then? We have this block catch that is catching this event, and it displays this text block. Choose one of the options or click the menu icon, and again this listen block with different menu options. And if we check this on Messenger, you can see that delicious meals are waiting to be ordered, and this gallery that was built from menu skill. And then we have these choose menu options and quick replies that have been triggered by persistent block. If it makes any sense, please share your opinion on chat. And I think that we can move on to your questions and answers. I don't want to push you with lots of information. I know that you can do a lot with our platform, but we will be pushing this information in small portions, like 1 hour, not more, to make it digestible. Okay. Well, thank you for your feedback. Much appreciated. Again, I'm sorry, I have a cold, so I maybe not explaining this quite good to be understood. Sorry for this, but thanks for your feedback. One more question for you. I will end this poll now, and I will offer you another one before we jump to your questions and my answers. We have been focused on e-commerce, and we have integrations for Shopify, for WooCommerce. We plan to add Magento soon. So do you think that you or your customers will be using chatbots for e-commerce? And I can say that conversational design for e-commerce is hot now, and conversational sales, conversational e-commerce, I think, to my personal opinion, it has some bright future. So I would appreciate your opinion on this. Okay, 7% of people say no way, 6%. If you could elaborate a little bit, those of you who selected no way, no bots for e-commerce, could you please describe in the chat why? Why did you choose that option? And 71% is showing yes, conversational commerce is hot, and 23% is not sure if they can use bots for e-commerce or no. Hey, Holger, thanks. Appreciate this. Question from Manish: how to install it on website using website widget? While I'm expecting for your replies. To put this on your website, in the website widgets, you go to Settings, Grow Tools. And in Grow Tools, you have a couple of different Grow Tools. We'll be adding more. Here, you have Chat Widget plugin that you can configure and copy the code from here. What you have to put here is your website. I'll put Activechat.ai here. Then you select the page, Facebook page, and it's the only one that is connected to the bot. And then you have this code that you can click to copy, and then paste this code into your web page, preferably between head and /head text. We have a manual for this. If you go to Help, Manuals, I'll show you. Open this in new tab. Help, Manuals, Grow Tools, Chat Widget plugin. Here is the description, how you can achieve this. Okay. Perfect. Thanks for your feedback. Yes, I can see that lots of people actually require bots for e-commerce, and we'll prepare some more education on this, and we'll prepare some videos how to use existing templates that we built for Shopify and for WooCommerce. One last thing for today, and we are jumping for your questions. 5 minutes of your time more, and this will be fallback. What I mean by fallback? When your bot doesn't understand. And again, we're getting this to a restaurant chatbot. I'm going to this chatbot on Messenger. and I'm asking, what time do you close? Let's see what happens here. Okay, I have been customizing this template, and it looks like I have added something wrong here. Yeah, the bot is displaying current time for the default reply. I will reconnect it to this switch block, run the bot again, and I will ask again, what time do you close? So the bot says not sure about this. Sorry. What happens here in this default skill, we have switch block with different keywords. We're checking if last user input, and let me remind you that last user input is a variable where ActiveChat puts a message that your user sent. If it contains menu, or if it contains reservation, if it contains direction, or if it contains call. If I go to the bot and ask the bot, how do I call you? You can see that the bot says you can call us anytime at this number. What happens here? This switch block is checking if last user input contains call. And if it contains call, it triggers this event, sending the event call. And we have this call skill that is being triggered by this event. And it just sends this message, you can call us anytime at this number, and then again send this persistent event. And persistent event takes us back to start skill, to this catch block for persistent menu. If I ask the bot something else, for example, let's see what we have here. Menu, reservation, direction. Okay, let's ask the bot, how do I make a reservation? Okay, and you can see that a completely different skill was triggered, and the bot is now making a reservation. Okay, now we have like maybe 10 to 15 minutes to answer your questions, and while we are doing this, yet another question for you. If you are already using some other bot platforms like ManyChat or ChatFuel, one more question for you. Would you like to migrate your existing users from ManyChat, ChatFuel, or maybe some other platform to ActiveChat? Actually, we can do this for you, and we feel like ActiveChat is a bit more powerful than ManyChat or ChatFuel. Yes, we have some glitches in the platform. The performance maybe not so great. We are fixing this currently, and it will be much better by the end of February. But if you need this migration, we can help you with this. And I'm looking into your questions. Okay, Mark, I think that we know the issue. Create the bot with a test page, and it stays on the test page. Please reach out to me directly at Andrew@Activechat.ai, or please ping someone in the support staff and tell again about the issue. We will fix this for you tomorrow. This is a known issue that happens sometimes to some of our customers. We can help you with this. Okay, I'll check the questions that our assistant, Zoe, and by the way, I would like to introduce her to you. She will be helping us with our Facebook community. She prepares some most interesting questions for live chat today, and I'll be checking these questions now to see how can I help. By the way, I would like you to join our Facebook community if you are not yet there. So I'll provide you a link now. First of all, please subscribe to us on YouTube, and here is the link to do so. And then I'll send you a link to our Facebook community. Please give me one moment to check the questions, and I'll be back in 1 minute with my answers. Okay, will this be recorded and emailed later? Yes, it will be recorded and emailed later. Another question, is it hard to test bot on page with a lot of traffic? Yes, and this is not a good practice. I will advise you to build an empty Facebook page and connect your bot to this Facebook page while in development, and then reconnecting your bot to your live page. When the bot is ready, it's just like 2 clicks of a mouse. You just go to settings, messengers, you disconnect your bot from one page and reconnect it to another. Okay, a question about NLP. Can it be used in our native language, building conversations in Portuguese? Yes, we are using Dialogflow, and Dialogflow currently supports 23 or 25 different languages, and Portuguese is among them. It has French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, Chinese, Ukrainian even, I think, and so on. So lots of questions, lots of languages there. How do you make this button to recover? Can you please explain what is the question to recover? If you mean quick replies, then you have just sent this listen block with quick replies again to the user. And buttons that you have attached to your text messages, buttons in your text or gallery blocks, stay there forever. And if they are in the conversation, user can get back to this part of the conversation and click these buttons anytime. Technique for jumping between skills sound interesting. It would be great if you could demonstrate that later. Actually, I tried to do this in this template, in a restaurant chatbot template, using this catch and send blocks. Would it be a good idea to have a chatbot talking to another chatbot at some point during the chat with customer? Hey, that sounds interesting. Yeah, that's a bright idea. And chatbots. So what is the main objective of a chatbot? Definitely, it's perform some specific tasks for your users. But then again, your bots should entertain your users. That's why successful bots have different kinds of entertainment, jokes, pictures, GIFs, and something like this. And this kind of entertainment, like another chatbot interrupting the current conversation, sounds quite good to me, and I will be happy to see it implemented in some of your bots. Okay, how to integrate NLP? We'll have another session on NLP next week. I think that next week will be more advanced session dedicated to chatbots with natural language understanding. I will explain you how to build your agent in Dialogflow, and I will show you how to connect this agent to Activechat and to integrate it with your existing skills in your chatbot. Can I read this somewhere? I missed a lot of what you have said. We'll post a reply of this webinar. Any plans for an API for developers? Yes, so we have API. It's currently in closed beta. This API will allow you to trigger events in bots from external sources, and it will be released for general public in March. Okay, I will remove this YouTube link, and I'll send another link to join our Facebook community if you didn't do this yet. Okay, please click the link to join. Okay, you can select multiple boxes and copy them, but you can't move them together. Can you make that happen? Yeah, that's a great question. And we are working on this UX improvement. Soon you'll be able to move selected blocks together. I'm sorry that we didn't do this yet. Can you send the link for Active Chatbot Academy, please? Actually, you are here, you are in Bot Academy now, and I will prepare this as a specific landing page on the website. It will be available soon. Is there an undo option? Again, great question. And we have just deployed this to our development platform, and it will be live by the end of this week. You'll have undo and redo buttons to help you recover with your work. Now I'm getting back to live chat questions. In ManyChat, you can create custom fields and then add values manually on Users tab. Sorry, I have a cold. It's difficult for me to speak. We have something similar if you go to Users. Currently, you can add columns with different variables. You can click Add Column, and all your bot variables are here. For example, reservation persons, reservation phone, and so on, and you can display these variables in the list of users. And we will add an option to edit the values of these variables directly here from your users list. I think that answers your question. My users from ManyChat now in ActiveChat twice with the same ID. How can I remove duplicate users in ActiveChat? Please reach out to live chat support, this bottom right corner. Sorry. This icon in the bottom right corner, and someone from our team will help you achieve this. Can you issue invoice in bot? Yes, you can. You can do this if you put orders from WooCommerce or from Shopify. We are sending direct links to invoices from these systems. And if you're building custom invoices, you also can use the URL type of the button to send the link to that invoice. Can you give us an example of follow-up sequence like email sequence? A great question, and let me show you another example in one of our templates. If you go to, I think it's gym and fitness chatbot. Again, I encourage you to build a bot for every of the templates that we have. When you create new bot, you can use these templates, and then you can see how it is built in these skills. In gym or fitness chatbot, you have this challenge drip skill. What this skill does, it is sending a new message to a chatbot user every day of the week. It's like a 7-day challenge with different exercises. You can see we have this click the button to watch your exercise and let me know when you are done. And we have a button sending user a video with the exercise description. And then we have this listen block with 3 options. I did it, not today, and stop and quit if the user doesn't want to participate in this 7-day challenge anymore. What we do with these blocks, if I did it, we increase the challenge days variable by 1. And if not today, we just say, okay, maybe tomorrow. And if stop and quit, if the user clicks stop and quit, we say that's not good. And we change challenge subscription to no thanks. And we are stopping the timer that is sending these daily events to the user. So this is an example of drip campaign that is being sent by the bot every day after the user sign-ups. If I go to this bot on Messenger, let me show you how it works. ActiveChat gym template. Yeah, here it is. You can see example here. Okay, it's day 1 of 7, and it's time to start Sweat, and click the button to watch your exercise, and immediately these 3 buttons. I did it, not today, and stop and quit. So this is how it works on Messenger. Can I export or copy skills for different bots? Yes. Again, this is in testing, and you will have this feature by the end of this week. Currently, we have duplicate skill in the right-click menu. If you go to any skill in a chatbot, and if you click, you can select duplicate skill from here, and you will be able to send these skills to different bots that you have in your account. So, and we are already working on the marketplace for skills where you can post your own skills and sell it to other users. I think it makes sense to get some extra income selling your bot templates and bot skills to other users on the platform. By the way, I have great news for you. Lots of people were asking if we have an affiliate program, and we are almost finished with it. I will announce it this week. And I have yet another poll for you. Let me post it. Give me a moment, please. So the question is, would you like to participate in our partnership program earning up to 40% of lifetime revenue? When ActiveChat will have its own widget without Facebook integration? ETA is March 2019. We are already working on this. It's quite a complex task. It took Intercom 3 years to build this. We definitely will not be as profound as Intercom, but we'll have our own live chat widget by the end of March. I deleted the default page. What do now? First of all, you can check that. Let me go to this example bot that we have been building for the webinar. Where it is? Okay, let's go. Let's check here. First of all, you have the list of your skills here. If you delete your default skill, you can find it here if you just close it. But if you actually deleted the skill with the delete skill button, you can just recreate the skill. You just click this plus sign here. You just build the skill with default name, and it will be back there. And it will be triggered exactly the same as the default skill that you have in the beginning. Okay, it looks like we are almost 1 hour, more than 1 hour in this session. And first of all, I would like, I appreciate that you come. I appreciate that you took your time. I will check some more questions in the coming moments. But one more poll for you. Could you please rate this event so that I know what was good, what was not so good? And please share your feedback in your chat and in Facebook community so that we know what to focus on in the next events. I work a lot with WooCommerce integration. In the manuals page, there is no information. It's hard to understand all, but we can help each other. Yes, Mike, a question from Mike Rojo. Thanks for a great point. We know we have been working on these integrations for quite a long time. And we know that we do not have it documented nicely yet. So one of coming sessions, next one will be on natural language understanding. And I think in 2 weeks, we'll have a specific session on WooCommerce and Shopify integrations, on building bots and building actual selling bots for e-commerce. So stay tuned, please, and sorry that we didn't prepare it yet. So much to learn, looking forward to it. Stefan, thank you so much. And yes, what we had in mind when we have been building Activechat is to make the most flexible bot building platform there. It looks like we are close to this, but the platform is so flexible that you have some learning curve. And it is not that easy as maybe in other bot builders. We are working on improving our user experience, on improving our interface. And I know it looks terribly now, and it will get much better soon. But yes, that's the reason for these Bot Academy sessions. That's the reason for building this community of certified Activechat builders that can take the platform and leverage it to build great bots and sell these bots to customers. So basically what we do. Okay, and 10-15 minutes more answering your questions, and I think that we are done for today. Thank you for coming. Ron, late holiday in Amsterdam. Have a great evening there in Amsterdam and take a walk with your dog. Yeah, Charlie, great point. You have a lot of knowledge and know the system inside out, so if you can slow a bit when explaining, will help. Yes, I know I can rush in my explanations. I'll try to split this into simple bits of information. I'll be adding more videos to our YouTube channel soon, and I'll try to make it as simple and as easy to digest as possible. Thanks for a great point. How do we become certified? Actually, that's what we are doing right now. We'll have a certification program for Bot Academy participants. I think that the education process will take like 4 to 6 weeks. And in 4 to 6 weeks, it will be around 8 sessions for certification. And then you have this certificate that you are a great bot developer and you can build great and awesome bots for your customers. Yep, this webinar is recorded, at least I hope so, if Webinar Jam will not break anything, and I will post a replay to our Facebook group and hopefully to our YouTube channel. Again, checking your questions. What is a data node and why do we need them? Data blocks let you operate variables in the bot. Actually, it's like a visual programming language, and you can use it to do some math, to do some string operations, and we'll be diving deeper into this into the oncoming Bot Academy sessions. Holger, I love Activechat already. See the power of this. Thank you so much. Actually, I love one of the feedback that we got from our customer from Singapore. We have this concept of Lego for chatbots when we have been building chatbot so that it is powerful, it is versatile, and it is fun and easy to use. And actually, the guy was telling me, your platform is so addictive. I didn't sleep last night playing with all these blocks and what I can do with these blocks. So I love this comment a lot. Actually, that was exactly what we tried to achieve with the platform. Commons Grow tools will be available on February 14th. Commons Guard Grow tool, I think it will be delayed maybe for a week or two, but we'll definitely have it by the end of February. Okay, checking your questions. Again, can you tell us how to apply user segmenting? Yes, definitely. You can use bot variables for this. For example, when you ask some question, like the questions that I was showing in the webinar today, like what is your age, less than 25, 25 to 45, more than 45. When user clicks one of these quick replies, you can use data block to put this into some variable. And actually, you are putting this into a user age variable. And this user age can be used to segment your broadcast and to segment your bot conversation based on the value of this variable. Just use switch block to achieve this. Same time next week, hopefully, yes. This will be a weekly series and next Tuesday or maybe next Thursday. But yes, it will be the same time. How is GDPR working? Yvette, a great question. And currently, we did not check all the checkboxes for GDPR. We have tools to download and to delete user data. We are already storing user data in European servers for the bots that require GDPR compliance. But we are still checking the boxes. And complete GDPR compliance will be ready again by the end of March. Currently, we are doing big refactoring of the platform, and it will improve stability, it will improve performance, and it will include complete GDPR compliance. Can we check Facebook for variable? Check the profile begin date? No, you do not have these permissions from Facebook. We didn't request this, but we have requested permissions for user age and user profile picture. So this will be available in the platform soon. Yeah, Stefan, actually, this is just scratching the surface, and many thanks for your feedback. That's the best that I can hear from webinar participants. Okay, thank you again so much for your participation in this event. Next event will have will happen next Tuesday, I think. It will be dedicated to natural language understanding chatbots. Please have my apologies for my pronunciation. Again, I got colds and I'm not good in speaking today. And hopefully you enjoy this, and hopefully you do get some value from these sessions, and you and your customers will get some value from the bots that you build. Stay tuned to our updates, join our Facebook community, subscribe on YouTube. It was great meeting you. Thank you so much. See you again soon.